for the nation's heart and soul. The politicians sold us out, but not one had a role. Because of me, here's the question, can you tell me, how will Jesus can us be? Here's the question, can you tell me, how will Jesus can us be? Here's the question, can you tell me, how will Jesus can us be?
And from their five-star luxury, these people walk across the road to sign the measures that will cause misery for people with special needs, for low and middle income, for our hospitals that they're trying to close down, for our state assets and natural resources that they're trying to steal. And we have to send a clear message to them that they are going to be resisted every inch of the way, just as the people of Greece and Portugal and Spain and Italy. IMF, shame on you! IMF,
Shame on you!
IMF, shame on you! ECB,
Shame on you!
ECB,
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Get your dirty hands off! Get your dirty hands off! Get your dirty hands off!
the pensioners! Bail out the pensioners!
Not the bankers!
Bail out the hospitals!
Not the bankers!
This is what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy feels like! Do people want to sit down?
Yes!
Do people want to see we build a movement of opposition to this troika, to these government clowns who are collaborating with them, to the corporate and financial elites across Europe and the world who are trying to sacrifice our society, our communities, our services, our jobs to satisfy the endless greed of bankers and financiers. And today has to be the part of building a movement towards the budget in particular, because that's what they're here for. The EU IMF this week are coming across every day and telling our government what suffering must be inflicted on our communities, on working people. And we have to decide how we are going to build a movement that is as determined as they are and more determined than they are to resist their agenda. And today has to be part of the process of doing that. Please welcome Adrian Murphy from the Against Cuts in Education campaign.
It's brilliant that so many of us here, and we're so strong. We've been hearing a lot recently about how Ireland is the poster boy of Europe because we're being such good children about implementing these horrible cuts. It's causing personal tragedy to them and their families, but it's also causing chaos and the risk of physical injury to all children across Ireland in our national schools. As children with special needs don't get their needs met, their behaviour often becomes disruptive. We're seeing those children being bullied, we're seeing their parents being bullied, pressure to take those children out of school. Meanwhile, traveller children have had all their support removed. A friend of mine, she's not here today, lots of you know her, Eileen Flynn. She's the education officer with the Irish Traveller Movement. She said on the halting site that she lives in, this year, none of the primary school kids are going to school because their bus has been removed and it's too dangerous. They live too remotely and they can't walk to school. That simple fact, the removal of their transport, means those kids are not attending school. And this is a measure of our success, apparently, according to our government. So what do we say to that? We won't put up with it. Our group have been fighting really hard. We'll keep fighting. Thank you for supporting us. And we'll keep on fighting. Families with children with special needs will not take being treated like this. It's state persecution.
I want to introduce first some of the sort of particular campaign groups that are here. And one that's very, very important is the Tara Mines Pensioners Group. And Jim Brennan from that group, they've come all the way up from Navan, I should have Meath, for the Tara Mines Pensioners Groups. And as they will explain, as Jim will explain to you, one of the austerity measures that is affecting pensioners in Tara Mines is in fact going to hit other pensioners right across the country, exposing another lie that the government have told the people about the real extent of the austerity and who it's hitting. So please welcome Jim Brennan from the Tara Mines Pensioners Group.
Hello everybody, thank you all for coming here today. This time last year I retired. I never thought I would be standing in a street in Dublin protesting to my pension, to save my pension. Now, the past governments and the present governments have encouraged us to join pensions, and I will explain to you what's happened to our pensions now. In June, the government introduced and passed the Finance Act 2011, imposing an annual levy of 0.6% on the value of all assets in pension schemes. This 0.6% levy affects all occupational pensions. This most unfair tax will hit all occupational pensioners to the tune of 10% for the next 4 years. That's 10% of our pensions will be taken off for the next 4 years. This is designed to create jobs, and this will not happen as we, the pensioners, are solely depending on our pensions to live and support local jobs. But our spending power has been reduced, unfortunately. Pensioners have also been hit by the abolition of the cost of living allowance from the pension schemes, as all pensioners are in deficit and are prohibited by law from increasing the debt burden on pension schemes. We have also been hit by the universal social charge from the age of 67 years to 70 years, which has never been there before, plus proposed household charges, and especially an increase in the health insurance. When will all this austerity end? Aviva have announced up to 1,000 jobs to be lost due to the pension funds collapsing. And now we discover that the government are taking more money from the funds with the possibility of loss of more jobs. A better way to fund the jobs initiative would be for Irish workers' pensions to be invested locally, as in the case of other countries, namely Australia, where 10% of the pension funds are invested in local economy. The austerity measures have got to be resisted by all the citizens of this country if we are not to become paupers of Europe. What we want from today's protest is for the government to have a rethink of this 0.6% levy and give us back our money that we have earned and put aside for our future, and treat senior citizens with the respect they deserve in this country.
We drink porter and drink it endlessly. Mr. Massey makes a fortune on that 6 foot by 3. Let's see your hands. Oh, the 6 foot by 3 will always get you in the end. The rich man, the poor man, the enemy and the friend. It's about the only justice in this whole world I see. That great big equalizer is 6 foot by 3.
This week, I don't know if I can say his name, Barroso, is it? Congratulated Enda Kenny for being the good boy and to doing the job of the IMF over there in cutting and in slashing all the different programmes and taking the land away here. This week I sat in the Dáil looking and watching the different parties defend or just talk about the community and voluntary sector. And let me tell you, the Labour Party in the debate was only seeing in that Dáil as one person. There was nobody else there. Yet they went in there promising that they would look after the most vulnerable in this society and look after those in the schools and the hospitals and all that. They are no different to the Fianna Fáil government, and they should be got out of there. We have to sit in the long grass. The hearts have been ripped out of our communities. Our communities have had people working for them and with them for over 100 years. In the last 3 years, there has been such devastation. There have been projects closed all over the place that they lost to young children. The likes of O'Devany Garden lost their after school, they lost their creche, they lost their regeneration workers, they lost their CDPs, they lost the Inner City Partnership. That's only a small little glimpse of what's happened in this society. The community sector needs to be defended, supported, and we need to get out onto the streets. We're small today, but we have to keep on building. In December, on the 3rd of December, we've been involved in what's called the Spectacle of Defiance and Hope. We came out last December and we brought the youth groups and children to the streets, and we're making a call out to you to come on the 3rd of December to the streets. But this week we are launching, it's what's called the Great Book of Grievances and Hopes, to gather the grievances and hopes of all of us who live in communities and all of us who are being affected. So come out on the 3rd, gather your books, keep up the fight, and let's have a little song. We are people and we're united. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are people and we're united. We want a revolution now. We are workers and we're united. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are workers and we're united. We want a revolution now. And we are children and we are playing. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are children, we are playing. We want a revolution now. We are teachers and we are teaching. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are teachers, we are teachers. We want a revolution now. And we are miners and we've been working. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are workers, we've been mining. We want a revolution now. And we are Gardaí and we are working. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 ciao. We are Gardaí and we are working. We want a revolution now. Go home, the IMF. Enough, 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 enough.
Oh, the 6-foot white train will always get you in the end. The rich man, the poor man, the enemy and the friend.
This is the beginning of more protests in the build-up to the budget. Hear, hear. But to make those happen, we need your help. I want to mention some of the groups who are here. If we don't get a chance to speak, we have the people up from the Skibbereen, where there's a big fight to defend the Bantry Hospital A&E. We have people from Loughlinstown who are fighting to save Derry A&E services. We have people from Wexford who've been fighting to defend their hospital for quite enough time. We have people from the Cork Enough campaign who've come all the way up. We got the support today of the Unite Trade Union and the Mandate Trade Union. We have the Rachel Peavoy campaign from Ballymun. Rachel, who died in disgraceful circumstances because of the failure to provide proper housing for Dublin City Council tenants. So those are just some of the campaigns. There's people here from the Save Our Bus Services campaign who are fighting across the city to defend various bus services that are under attack.
Workers are left stranded at each bus stop in Glasnevin. How in the name of God are we supposed to get growth into this economy if the workers cannot get to work on time? Shame on us! Shame on us for allowing it to happen.
Well, just a report. It was started by the Trades Council in Skibbereen,
and Bantry. That what they're trying to do is they're trying to cut the A&E services in Bantry Hospital that caters for the whole of West Cork, and they're trying to make 2 ambulances available for the whole of West Cork. And the response that we got was 700 people out at the initial meeting. 700 people that wanted to fight against these cuts. What's going to come out of it now is the other day they came out and said not only are they going to cut West Cork Hospital, but they're also going to cut a hospital in the city centre. One of the biggest hospitals, South Infirmary, Victoria. They're going to cut that too. And what they're saying is we're going to cut it in half in December, and then we're going to cut it completely in April. And what's going to happen is you're all going to have to go to CUH, which is the main hospital in Cork. So the whole of Cork will have to travel to this one hospital that's struggling at the moment. But let me tell you, the hospital campaigns that are going on all over the country, we're going to fight it. The people that came out in Skibbereen, in West Cork, in Cork City, we're going to fight it, and we're going to link up, contact your local hospital campaign, and let's give the government a shock. Because the only way we are going to defeat this is if we all unite. From the hospital campaigns to the bus campaigns to every other campaign, the SNAs, the only way we're going to fight this is together. The only way we're going to win is together, and we can do it.
So they have done the people of South Dublin and Wicklow and the 10 other hospitals across the country. The dark clouds that the IMF bring with them as to cut our services, to reduce our services from 24 hours a day down to a Mickey Mouse 6-hour, 8-hour service. If you have any more than a nosebleed, the intentions are to divert from Loughlinstown, a hospital which serves a radius of about 50 miles, and some people are actually going to have to travel 90 kilometres up from Wexford, go straight past Loughlinstown Hospital and arrive here in Vincent's Hospital. There's nothing about these cuts, whether it be any of the hospitals, that have to do with patient safety. Only the logic of the IMF and of this government will tell you that. The only reason a hospital could ever be closed for patient safety is if this government and the HSE has drove that hospital into the ground. And the people of Loughlinstown, the people right across South Dublin and Wicklow have come together over the past number of weeks. We've had protests of hundreds. We need to emulate the people in Portlaoise that rallied, that got together, the campaign very fast, got thousands onto the streets, contacted our TDs and forced this government to back down. This is what we have to do, but every struggle that we can unite together gives us confidence and gives us strength going into the future. This has to be a campaign of permanent mass resistance. All these cuts that are talked about today, all these cuts are before the new budget that comes in December. So if we're worried about will this close or will that close, we have to have the intention and the attitude to stay on the streets, demand that nobody like Eamon Gilmore, who sold us out in Loughlinstown and sold us out in Dunleary, none of these people are allowed to lie anymore. We'll bring this fight right to their doorsteps, and we won't stop until we win. Thanks.
People on trolleys last week for 5 consecutive days, for 2 hours each day. Vincent's couldn't closed its doors to A&E cases completely because it's so overcrowded and under-resourced. So that crisis will get worse if Loughlinstown is closed. So there's a protest. When is it, Hughie? On the 29th of October in Ballybrack, marching to Loughlinstown Hospital at 2 o'clock, is it? 2 o'clock, so anybody who wants to support that protest. Very quick word from Seamus O'Brien from the Wexford Hospital campaign.
In May of last year, we had over 4,000 people march in Wexford to defend the A&E services there. Between then and now, we had a general election, and some might say we were lucky in Wexford that we got Brendan Howland, who presides over this department here, elected, and he promised us a brand new A&E department. Is that how the health services are run in this country? If you have a minister in your constituency, you have a new A&E. But if you don't, then you're lost. You're sold out by the likes of Eamon Gilmore and the people in Loughlinstown. The cuts that are being made to A&E services are being made because of those people across the road and because of the bankers that need to be bailed out. But we say bail out the people and not the bankers. You saw recently the strike in Limerick of the nurses who refused to put patients' safety in danger, or put people's health in danger by refusing to deal with patients on trolley. That strike needs to escalate across every sector of the health industry. We need to bring out the people. Every worker in this state needs to come out on a general strike and bring this demonised system of capitalism in this country to an absolute standstill. Thank you.
Campaign group, but the issues affect a lot of people.
How are you doing? Currently, I'm actually living in a hostel because I lost my job and there was no help there. I'm also a manic depressive, which means being in a hostel for me is extremely, extremely difficult. I cannot get me tablets for the simple reason they will not give a prescription without a fixed address. They will not give social welfare without a fixed address. In order for me to get the social welfare, I would have to go into a state-run hostel, which is drug addicts, alcoholics, and the worst of the worst people. I will not last there. And I am in a better position than thousands of people. I have met homeless that last year were in a nice house. I have met people that have had everything taken from them. And it is a disgrace. It is about time they start looking after the people and not bloody these banks.